Welcome to this episode of INN CEO Talks. On this episode, I have Craig Goodwin of Naturally Splendid joining me. Craig, thanks for taking the time to be a guest here on the show. Before we get started, maybe you could tell our viewers what your symbol is and what market they can find you on.
Absolutely. We trade in Toronto on the Venture Exchange, and our trading symbol is NSP.
So Naturally Splendid, a pretty fascinating company, and you have been moving into this plant-based food market in Canada for quite some time. Give us a little bit of history about the company and how you were able to identify this opportunity going back more than a decade.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have been plant-based for a decade. One of the true pioneers in the industry, quite frankly. The first product that we began to commercialize was the hemp plant. It has an amazing protein profile. It has wonderful omegas in it, omega-3 and 6. So we began working and commercializing a retail line that we eventually branded NATERA. In 2015 and throughout 2016, we're actually exporting hemp to Korea. Since then, we've had many exciting ventures. We've purchased a bar manufacturer called ProSnack Natural Foods. And this was a plant-based bar and bite manufacturer. More recently, we entered into a joint venture that's called Plasm Pharmaceutical. And this is actually up for a phase 2 clinical trial with Health Canada. And this is actually a curcumin-based extract using patented technology, but of course, curcumin is a plant. And now we're rolling into this opportunity where plant-based nutrition, we see, of course, all the consumer-driven trends in this area for a number of reasons. Sustainability, of course, but just health for one's own diet is focusing more on plant-based products. The range of products that we're able to offer, of course, we all hear of the many plant-based burger companies out there, and of course, NATERA Plant-Based Foods has a burger as well. But our offerings extend quite far in advance of that as well, and that's where we believe the market is heading. Is choices, not just for vegetarians, flexitarians, and anyone else who is just looking to switch up their diet a bit.
So this means that you are an operating company. You're manufacturing, you've got distribution network, you've got a very complex web of relationships. Why is that important, especially as you start to move forward? And then let's talk about the new deal that you've got that you're bringing in from Australia that's going to be able to tap into that network.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is important to identify that we are a manufacturer. Through our division, ProSnack Natural Foods, we operate a safe, quality food, certified food manufacturing, SQF as we refer to it. Especially during these challenging times with COVID, SOPs on safety, cleanliness, of course, is at a premium. Operating under an SQF format, you're already operating under very strict SOPs. So we manufacture to the highest degree, which of course provides safety for our workers, also for our consumers, and also for the safety of the product as well. So a very highly certified manufacturing facility certainly gives us a vertically integrated edge over our competitors. And this will help us as we begin to bring in the manufacturing of our plant-based line in from Australia. We have set up a manufacturing agreement that will go well into Q2 that will suit our needs and our forecast. But by all means, we will be looking at building out a manufacturing facility here. And the experience that we have gained over the past year being SQF will be invaluable as we begin to operate the new facility.
So that new line is it called BettaLife? How do you pronounce it?
Well, you know what? BettaLife. And I think it's a take on a little bit of the Aussie accent for sure.
Right.
But BettaLife has actually been a partner of ours, a strategic partner, for over 4 years. Originally, we were shipping NATERA branded hemp products to Australia. They have quite a distribution network in Australia. They, in turn, brought forward this plant-based opportunity to us. We've been working on this project for several months now. We've been testing, reviewing. We do a number of sittings with industry experts, with panels, experts in their categories. We wanted to make sure that we knew what we were getting into and what was the assets that we've had. And by all accounts, these products are great tasting. The range is fabulous. And we think we have a sure winner here.
Wow. I was really interested when I was reading the material about this. It went, okay, you're not just beef, but you're also chicken and pork and fish and shellfish. And how do you do that? Because it sounds absolutely fascinating. Because all we've really been hearing about as far as plant-based proteins are, a burger. But you're saying, no, we're not limiting you to that.
No, and that's exactly it. When we looked at the industry, and we saw the plant-based opportunity and the crowded competition, quite frankly, around the burger, and we began to look at it, and we're looking and going, if you were to dine with your friends and you brought a friend who wanted a vegetarian choice, he's going to have a salad or a plant-based burger. And then if you went to a restaurant 2 days later, he's going to have a salad or a plant-based burger. That must get very tiring for the people who are looking for alternative proteins in their diets. So when we decided to engage with BettaLife and take on this line, it really was driven by the range of fabulous products they have. They have a schnitzel that's amazing. The Kiev is incredible. And you're right, there are products that are going to be in the fish category. They will be in pork. They'll be in beef, shellfish. And it's that range of products that we believe gives us a competitive advantage.
Wow, it's extraordinary. And when we take a look at the market trend and the way that food is shifting and the things that are driving it, there's no doubt that consumers are saying, I want protein alternatives, moving away from animal protein to plant-based protein. What does the market look like from your perspective as you start to project what you're going to be able to supply?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the market is being driven by far greater than just vegans and vegetarians. We seem to want to categorize people. Are you vegetarian? Are you vegan? Are you flexitarian? Are you pescatarian? We like to be all inclusive. And with our name NATERA, we actually like to call it being Natarian. So if you are looking for great tasting products, if you want some variety in your diets, in your meal planning, if you want to have a plant-based diet once a day or a plant-based meal once a week, all of it makes a difference. And we can take responsibility for ourselves. We can take responsibility for our own health. And in fact, we're taking responsibility for the health of our planet. The raising of plant-based proteins is far more environmentally friendly and sustainable than raising animal protein, quite frankly. And there's just no argument that you can make that it isn't safer for the planet. We're getting to the point in this world where we have to make some very tough decisions on how we're going to survive together as a humanity. And we absolutely believe that plant-based nutrition is going to be a major driver in how well this world works out here in the next several decades.
Well, the relationship between plant-based products and the environment is extraordinary. If you take a look at it from sequestering carbon, the more you grow, the more carbon you're sequestering and pulling out of the atmosphere, which is something that so many people want. But then also when you're growing your protein through plant-based, you're using less water. So there's a number of real environmental benefits to going for a plant-based protein.
Oh, there absolutely is. We see statistics that as little as 10% of the water required for raising animal protein is needed for plant protein. Methane gas, and there's really no easy way to say this, but cattle produce a lot of methane gas, a lot. Some statistics will show a cow produces almost as much methane gas as an automobile. So these large feedlots that we see do produce a lot of methane gas, which can be greatly reduced, of course, if you're just growing the plant, the grass for the protein for human consumption rather than for animal consumption, which eventually then we eat the animal protein, of course.
So I just want to come back to you've worked out this relationship with BettaLife from Australia. At the moment, they can guarantee you the supply that you need. But your plans, as I understand it, that you're going to start to build out increased manufacturing capacity here.
Yeah, absolutely. North America is the world's largest plant protein-based market in the world. Our friends in Australia, our strategic partners, recognize right away that shipping from Australia certainly is a short-term option for us, and that's why they've set aside so much line time. But there's a need for us to build a manufacturing facility here. Our friends in Australia are very experienced operators. We have the advantage of being able to duplicate what has been successful for them in their manufacturing facility. So we're miles ahead by already having a very well established blueprint on exactly what we need here. And then the speed to market and the variety that we're able to produce out of our own facility, once again, will give us a competitive advantage because we will be in control of not only the products that we develop, but also speed to market.
You know, one of the other things that I think is important is that we take a look at the ability of the Canadian agricultural sector during COVID-19 to remain consistent in its ability to deliver product to market. And so that gives certainty that you're going to have supply. Has COVID-19 affected you, or has the system been as reliable as we had hoped it would be?
Yeah, you know what? There's been continued challenges with COVID. I don't think anyone, when we began this journey, really saw this, 6 and 8 and 10 months and 12 months out. Being an operator, there's no doubt it's difficult times right now. But we're very well positioned. The plant-based manufacturing facilities have all remained reliable. There have been some challenges on animal processing. We've seen facilities in Alberta, for example, be shut down temporarily because of the COVID. We see very large challenges coming out of the United States in animal protein processing facilities. A lot of this is due just to the manner in which the operations are run, like they've been run for decades. And unfortunately, with the transmittable situation with COVID, it has created large challenges for these facilities. It's actually driven more opportunity towards us because people are more open-minded now. They see even more reason now to incorporate plant-based products into their diets. So we never wish anyone bad, of course. And we hope all the facilities operate. We need as many food facilities and that food supply chain to remain intact. There's some big challenges on that side of it. And we believe that plant-based nutrition and manufacturing facilities can be a big part of the answer moving forward.
So for investors who are watching right now, how are you going to characterize the opportunity that exists with Naturally Splendid at the moment?
Well, we will be continue to be focused on plant-based nutrition. The journey that we started a decade ago was in fact the right path. We see all the right trends and all the right market indicators to keep on this path. We want to appeal, as I said earlier, not just to vegetarians or vegans or flexitarians, but to people who want great food. And that's really what our position is. So we're going to offer a wide range of options, a wide range of different meals that you can have, and just drive as many people and consumers to enjoy the plant-based nutrition that we have to offer. And this will be our focus. We will have manufacturing here in Canada. We will offer more products than anybody else. And I think that will be what our competitive advantage is in this situation.
And so for investors, you say this is a good, solid, long-term play.
Absolutely. And not just long-term, but short-term as well. As
Yeah.
we begin to gather up our clients and begin to get our distribution, we are going to be in food service. We're launching our retail line in October. So on both sides of this, the short term looks very bright for us, but I do believe long-term growth can be sustained in this market.
Great. Thank you very much. Thanks for sharing this information. And I think that the opportunity ahead of you is exciting based on the trends that we're seeing in food consumption, especially here in North America. Hopefully you'll come back and give us an update in a couple of months.
I absolutely will be available and would be happy to come back.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.